everyone to Berlin, Germany, home of the LEC. Ooh, the pros are hitching a ride on the big camera. I love it. The race for playoffs is well and truly on as we embark on the second and deciding half of the regular season. I'm Sjokz, joined here by Ender and by Sheepy. Hi, gentlemen, and of course a special welcome to you, Sheepy. For people that may not know, but I think they do actually, you're of course still head coach for the Unicorns of Love right now in the LCL. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be back. It looks very fresh here, and I've seen new faces. Ender, nice to see you as well.
Next time we'll make it pink for you so you feel a little bit at home. I myself wear my active camouflage today. It's why I've got the earring. It's so you can see me, you know, a little bit.
We just noticed as we went live, like, wow, that looks a lot like the background. I think it's perfect. You all look very spiffy, and today is, of course, the opening day of the second round robin. So let's see where the teams stand going into week 5. We've got a bit of a 3-horse race at the top and a lot of teams in the middle.
Yeah, right now it's pretty clear G2, Rogue, Fnatic right at the top, and then every other team, it's not really sure who's going to edge it out. I'm pretty confident. I feel good about Schalke and Mad Lions, but for me, that 6th place spot, will Excel maintain that, or will other teams come up? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I can only echo that opinion. I think that right now the middle tier teams are kind of fighting for their identity, like what makes them exactly win. The nice thing about Schalke is they actually won against teams that are better than them.
Yep.
Teams like Excel did not show that yet. So I think the next days are going to be super interesting as well for the standings, because now we're in the backgrounds. So, you know, whenever a team is going to win, you might face off against a 2-0 team, and that later on in playoffs can matter a lot.
I mean, can you tell us from a coach perspective, is it okay for teams to, until the halfway point, experiment with identity? And when is the time when they should really cement it? Is it now?
I think right now it's kind of the time where you want to cement it. I think if at this point you have not started winning consistently, or you didn't find, you know, the way to do it, different people will step up, different people will try something out. But especially if you start going towards playoffs and people, you know, are really, really strong, know exactly how to draft the carries so that they're going to win. If you're missing that, you're not gonna, you know, survive through the likes of G2, Rogue, and Fnatic.
Yeah, true. And about G2 and Rogue, they played the match of the week last week, and man, did it deliver. I think we got a snippet of it also when we went into match history just before the start of the show. But oh, it was just unique picks, aggressive plays, long drawn-out game. That was very exciting. We had it all.
It was sick. It was a 50-minute slugfest, and for most of it, it looked like G2 was going to have the upper hand, but they were playing this comp with a Quinn and an Echo that was very much about playing the map, this 1-3-1 style. And time again, they weren't able to find that split push. Larsen's coming in on these flanks in the team fights every single time. Rogue had that 5v5 locked down, and it came down to multiple Barons, soul fights, everything on the cards machine.
I mean, I absolutely love the meta right now. Everyone's picking carries, everyone can make a play. Larsen, you just see in that game twice predicting the flash from Wunder, and you also see perfect stuns from Rel. Like, all the champions right now have so much playmaking. And I mean, especially the mid laners, you know, the home of the best mid laners in the world. You know, Caps and Larsen, I personally have not had Larsen so much on the radar, especially the year before, but now he's just popping off, and like, honestly, I cannot wait to see more of him.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we hear that echoed amongst many analysts, that you just see Larsen's arc going up and up and up, and we'll be excited to see where he goes. In terms of the meta, we're still at 11.3 this week. We also were last week, but we didn't see that many insane changes, but there were some things in the jungle.
Yeah, so these were our top junglers coming into the patch, and of course, all these guys saw nerfs. There were also big nerfs to Gore Drinker as well, so I think a lot of the talk in the scene was these champions are going to fall away, but it was kind of anything but. Pantheon did fall away, wasn't picked or banned, but Olaf and Udyr seemed to only rise in priority.
Yeah, I mean, Pantheon got hit really, really hard with the Q damage down, and I mean, in a champion that really needs to snowball early, even if the changes for the new patch really like favored him with the new items he can build to scale better. Olaf had the same problem, but it just synergized so much better. Udyr, just a small nerf later on, deals 25 damage less on his Phoenix. I think Udyr was just really, really strong, and Olaf was overtuned as hell. So, you know, I'm happy he's now, you know, put more in check.
Honestly, Udyr is one that is so interesting to me, because obviously no one's played Udyr in like 20 years,
yeah.
Right? Now he's back here. But the way he fits into competitive is he just stifles counterplay, right? Like, you can't dodge away from any of his abilities. No, it's all auto attack. So all you can do really is get a team with a lot of CC to push him away, and even that's sometimes not enough. So that's the pick that is not very fun to witness or play against very much.
Yes.
But in the concept of professional play is pretty fun to watch.
I agree with you, so let's see how that evolves. Last summer, in terms of meta and everything else, our expectations were turned upside down. And since we are halfway through our LEC spring season, we wanted to make the unpredictable split maybe a bit more predictable with the help of our analysts. And we're going to look at some key teams and discuss if they have over or underperformed based on the preseason expectations. So the question is, where would you place them? And are they overperforming or underperforming? You get to vote as well if you're in the LEC Discord. If you're not, you can go to discord.lec.gg and you can vote over or under. Our first team is Fnatic. Sheepy, under or overperforming?
So for me, Fnatic is always an exciting team. I mean, we have a long history with them as well. And I mean, as an organization, you always expect Fnatic to be at the top. Same as G2, you just do. From a player caliber, same thing. I think all of the players are just individually so good. They're top 3 in their positions for sure. So I was expecting that as well. However, what was really surprising for me is that start from the split, they're just starting to gel together so well. They have a new coach as well with Yamato, who has like his own style of coaching as well. So that all of that works together and they're actually in the top 3. For me, it's like an overperformance because I'm expecting that much later, maybe in the end of spring or like beginning of summer.
Yeah, I think what was so interesting about this team was they came in and it was super explosive. It was very divisive. A lot of people saw them taking every fight that was thrown to them or even looking for some on their own. And it was like, wait a second, Fnatic, slow things down. That's not the way you wanted to play. But like you said, they gelled together because Fnatic said, no, this is how we want to play the game. We don't care if we're making some of these mistakes because this is our style. And when we look at the conversation of our teams finding their style, Fnatic have very clearly identified theirs.
Talk to me about their style in 3 words.
Aggressive, fight all the time, and wide whippo.
Those were a lot of words, and 2 of those meant the same thing.
Fight all the time was 1 word. It was fight all the time, you know.
Yeah, well, we see some examples here. How much do you think, in part, the fact that Whippo, who's always been kind of a pop-off player, but sometimes also didn't in some games, how much is he becoming integral to the success of this team?
It feels like he's almost the entire team. His laning is just so dominant because in the past he'd have some mistakes here. He would lose some lanes when he goes in too deep. And now it just feels like even in games that Fnatic are losing, he's still walking out a lane with multiple kills.
I mean, Whippo is just a standout player. This year especially. I think before that, I was never really sure if Whippo is, you know, like so consistent.
What are you going to get? Yeah.
Yeah, because we also saw us before who was like the pinnacle of just very, very, very clean gameplay, used the OTPs effectively. Now Whippo has stepped up. He was won multiple times All-Stars 1v1. He is just such an impressive laner. Really, he gets, I think, 11 solo kills or something like this, the highest ever. So, yeah, standout player.
Yeah, pretty nuts. In terms of what people say on Discord, 650 people voted that they are underperforming. 270 voted that Fnatic is overperforming. I think that just goes to show that the expectations on this roster are extremely high. Let's move on to our next team. Misfits started at the top, and now they're here. They had a fantastic week 1. We were talking about Herod in the top lane that surprised to a lot of people. Vito with some pop-off performances, but it has fizzled since then.
Yeah, no, it's a bit odd because you look at the games that they won in week 1 and it was wins against Mad Lions and Fnatic. And after week 1, that sounds great, right? But those teams also took a little bit of time to find their groove. And since then, Misfits have beaten 1 team and it's Astralis. And that is underperforming. That's really concerning for a team that put together, you know, Cobby Vander in the bot lane. That's supposed to carry them into the playoffs at least, right? You know, and work with the top side of this map. So for me, Misfits really have not found their groove yet, and that's concerning.
Yeah, I mean, 100% underperforming for me. Misfits as an organization is already longer a part of it. I think the way that they structured their team is really awesome. They have a lot of talent. I mean, Herod won LFL, went over to Turkey, won there as well. Like, it's just a standout talent by itself. They have a good setup. They have 2 veterans. They have 3 rookies. They have staff that's already experienced in the LEC environment. So, I mean, I was expecting them to, for sure, like to be a playoffs team, and right now that they're falling out of this is kind of disappointing for me.
Yeah, I mean, everything's there. You know, the tools are there for the team, the players are there, but I have to agree. I think underperforming so far. On Discord, people feel the same. 950 people voted under and 85% overperforming. And
85 people, not percent.
Oh, right. Yes.
That's the one.
160% and 85%. That's not how that works. All right, next up, XL. XL is such an interesting team to me. You know, know they've been chasing those playoffs for so long, and they don't have the most impressive stats, but they're winning.
I don't care if gold at 15
it's
kills.
Like minus, I don't care.
I don't care if that looks bad. Their win rate's the only stat that matters, and they're doing good in that department. I think they've found this regular season formula of success. They just play for the team fights, play for the later game.
Just to explain the graphic behind you, it's kind of the piano graph of their split so far, and all the teams at the top are the teams that they have been able to beat, but all the teams below that are the teams that they haven't been able to beat. And of course, you clearly see that it is the top dogs and the teams that are above them firmly in the standings that they need to take down, Sheepy.
Yeah, to come back into
frame. I feel like I'm a weatherman or something. Yeah. I don't know what's happening.
I mean, what you can really clearly see here is that for me, they are the standout average team. They are really consistent beating the teams that are weaker than them, and they are not dropping off their performance in this game, where we have other teams like Sjokz, who's just like, well, maybe we win today, maybe we lose. Like, the strength of the enemy doesn't really matter. So it's really awesome to see Excel like finding their groove. And the good thing about this is you can build on top of this. If they slowly start racking up, you have a team that you can very comfortably say goes to playoffs. This week is going to be key for them, so I'm really looking out for them as well.
Yeah, I agree with you, but overall, very impressive, I think. 1,050 people have said overperforming, 100 people have said underperforming. So that's, I mean, yeah, it is overperforming because we didn't expect them to win that much, and I hope they keep going on that echelon. Before we look ahead, though, towards week 5, let's see how the players themselves reflect on the first round robin.
I think we started clicking, and our aggressive style is paying off. Like it's working out. Basically, like me, Hilly are hyper aggressive laners, and Upset and Hilly are playing a ton of games together. Like they're practicing every day, and the rest of the team is just playing really well. Like the jungle meta is obviously Selfmade's comfort zone. He's obviously really good at these farming junglers. He's always ahead of the enemy jungler. Niski's performing super well, and he's finding these I wouldn't say off meta, but like he's the Seraphine mid, getting some games in on these control mages and just supporting the team, and he's really good at it. So in general, I think just the meta in conjunction with the drafts we're picking are just working out really well. And well, if top laner gets 11 kills on Riven, it's pretty fucking he has 11 solo kills. It's pretty good for your game, right?
For the last couple of weeks, I think at least in summer and spring, I think we were like a pretty consistent bot lane in that we never really tried anything or like that much, or like we did we had some plays, but now we are trying to try new stuff, I guess, and try to play more aggressive because we want to test our limits a bit, even on stage. So sometimes we are inting. I think we in the first week we solo killed almost every bot lane, but we also got solo killed by every bot lane, or in each game, right? So we were a really coin flip kind of bot lane in the first half of the split, and this is just to maybe test a few things and test our limits, right? And I think it's not the greatest strategy maybe, because I think we lost a few games of doing that, but we also got really far ahead in some games because of that. So I think we're still trying to find I guess our limiter, and then we will be more consistent in the future.
I think we've done okay. I mean, we're 4-5, so it's not really anything extraordinary. I think we could definitely do better, but also it's a fine beginning.
As a standing solo, we are not that in a great spot. We are 3-6 at the moment, and I think we could have won many games against not that strong teams. For example, I feel like the game we drop against Vitality is really important. Against SK, we should have won. And who else actually? Schalke is probably playing pretty good, but they had a bad week. I mean, I just feel like we are not that worse compared to the middle table teams. And it just feels bad because we are not able to show how we're playing in scrims in official matches, and also our drafts are not being the greatest too, some games, so.
A bit of a clear difference also in the testimonies from the teams like Mad Lions and Fnatic, who've been doing relatively well. They're all talking about the aggression and whatnot, and the other teams, like SK and like Misfits just talking about, yeah, we don't really know why it's not working. We haven't really figured it out yet.
Honestly, I just want to hear Blippo talk more about his own solo performance.
Yeah.
Like, I got 11 kills,
And
guys.
just pat myself on the back right there. It's great, you know. It's great. You're your own best brand ambassador, so you did a great job there. So we heard a lot rather about aggression, and while some decisions end well, others will leave the shot callers with a painful headache the next day. We proudly introduce LEC Burger Flip. Let's flip a burger.
Oh, I'm going to be good at this.
Let's
I'm
flip
so
a burger
hungry.
and hope it lands as we look at the results from some examples from Pro Play. This is something that has popped up, I think, in a Checolad interview and amongst the memes about the LEC. Burger Flip is basically coin flip, but then with a burger, right?
Yeah.
Like this.
I don't know what this is. We're flipping burgers.
The way this is going to work is we're going to see a clip. It's going to pause, and I'm going to ask you guys, should the team go in here?
Okay.
I don't know if it's going to be clear, but let's see. Let's roll the first clip, the first situation.
What's it going to be? What's it going to be?
Guess
We're
we can
waiting
look
for
here.
it.
That'd be
It's
easy.
going to come up.
Right. All right. So we
Fnatic
got...
I see
versus Mad
Hillesang
Lions.
already.
Okay. Oh, okay. So I'm going to say that Selfmade shouldn't go in here. I think I remember this game a little bit.
Right.
And I'm also going to say that he does flip it.
And why shouldn't he go in?
He shouldn't go in because, well, let's figure out why. Honestly, Selfmade just died a lot in this game. So
Well,
I'm
that's
gonna...
not a reason. Why in this situation?
I think in this situation he should go in. I will just take the other
so?
side of the burger.
Why?
Because he's an assassin and the Asi is walking in his face. So he should just take the free chunk. But
I think
where's
if he
Pantheon?
jumps in here, Wukong's going to jump on him and just cyclone.
I mean, he should
and then
press
burst.
ultimate in time.
I mean,
And
he
I
has
don't know. I
Evelyn,
don't know
right?
if he
It's not
presses it
clear to
fast
see,
enough
but-
because the
Yeah.
0-2 can get
if he
gnarled.
presses it fast enough, it's awesome. So
All right, here
let's
we
see.
go.
What's it going to be?
Yes! He goes in.
Oh.
More
Oh,
stuff.
they're going. Oh, okay.
Everyone's
Oh, they're going very
I see.
hard.
So he did just press R, and then there was more going in
I
after.
mean, it looked good. I think that the
Yeah.
clip should have been stopped before Niski threw his life away.
it's
and
coming
was
back
like,
nice.
We
There
thought
was
it was
more.
just like a single burger flip, but it turns out it was like a whole
It's the
barbecue.
double.
It was just an entire
There were
barbecue.
ribs
Double.
involved, there were sausages, there were some hot potatoes. They all got flipped. At the end, they almost all die, I believe.
Yeah, I think they do all die.
So what do we call a bad burger flip? Like the meat burned or something?
No, you call it well done
Well,
because it's
Very
it's
well
the
done.
opposite.
Yeah,
Because well done.
not good
Not
for
well
a burger.
done.
That's
All right.
intuitive.
Great, let's look at the second burger flip situation. Alrighty, so, oh my god, it's from an A.
Oh boy, hey,
I say
Destiny,
burger.
I remember him.
This is great.
Cersei, look
This
at
is
these
great
guys.
because we'll for sure not know what happened here.
Okay, so the fight that's going on, they're trying to cancel a recall.
Right.
They don't have vision in the brush, but I assume they're going in and they should go in and kill that guy.
Well, they
but there's
have-
2 people underneath him, but can they burst? Who is it? It's a Camille. Camille's hard to kill fast, passive, ultimate, etc.
I mean, they should for sure go for the kill because it's 2 versus 1 and they have a ward on bot side.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
I have a
it's
feeling
an A.
they're gonna lose. I have a feeling they're
Well,
gonna lose.
If they're trying to come up from the...
Yeah, no, I'm
the
thinking,
bot side, then they're gonna
Immortals
lose.
are going to be able to respond and get there in time because Camille can buy
But
some
they
time.
know she's there.
She doesn't have flash, to be fair.
All
No
right.
flash might.
So, do we flip it?
I'm going to say don't flip it. Don't flip it.
I say they should go.
Let's go. I think they should go to, like, it's a sure kill, no? Oh.
Oh,
Wait,
no,
that's-
no.
Wait, I'm getting bamboozled. What's the
Wait,
the
this
flip?
is it? They're saying to go in, I guess.
Oh.
They're like, we're here now anyway.
Wait,
It's the long burger flip. It's the long sizzle.
I see. Okay. Are they going to... Okay. They spent
I think
a lot
they
of
just
time
don't know
on-
themselves if they should go in or not.
cursed. Oh, it's a... Ah!
All right, so basically my producer gave me some extra info, but they had vision on her for a while. They should have just gone in earlier and killed her probably before she finished her recall.
Yeah, I mean, that's a hard flip.
Ah, unlucky. All right,
Just go farm your
What a-
jungle, man.
great. Let's go over to our third burger and see if we should flip it. This is the best
I
analogy.
just want to dance, honestly, you know?
And thank you, pro players, for your lingo. Oh,
Oh,
no.
the 0-0?
Null and
Okay.
void. I
Should
think they
we flip it into champ select? Okay.
Right?
Line
see Caps.
G2.
Caps, he's for sure gonna flip it, no?
Oh, the invisible
Oh
cards.
no! Don't flip
Yeah.
it. So actually, I remember this play.
Me too.
I say. I respected Humanoid so much for going in here because 1v1 he for sure has the kill. He just doesn't expect people to be in fog of war immediately.
Yeah.
I think the question is should or would
Yeah,
I?
Honestly,
I would go in there. I think
I'd
everybody
go in
would go
there.
in there, and then
Alright,
afterwards I would say I shouldn't
yeah,
have.
don't be results-based analyzers.
Yeah.
Go in, flip it.
Let's go.
Flip
Let's
it, cook
see.
it up.
I mean, it's humanoid, so you always know what's gonna happen, though.
Because the thing is, I think what we missed as Caps is like teleporting and stuff. Caps had just used gold card, I think, before he went in.
Yeah.
Which was smart, because then you can't get CC under tower. But Humanoid dies in side lane. It's a classic.
I enjoyed this segment. This was cool.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Can we
Let us
keep
know what
music
you
on?
think on
Chocolate.
Twitter.
For branding
Yeah.
this.
Tweet at Kevin Bell, our producer, what you thought. Excuse me, Kevin?
Oh.
Oh yeah, but I don't want to say that 'cause that's a bad word. So maybe you should change your Twitter handle. Sorry, I'm just having a whole conversation.
What is that? I just grew it over here. There's the next thing I think you
I'm
can...
sorry, but you'll find him on Twitter for sure. Let's get back to the league. Thank you for that segment and for helping out. And let's get back to the state of the league where G2 Esports have dominated the LEC over the past years, but their biggest challenge came from an unexpected foe. Tomorrow, the Kingslayer Sjokz look to shock the world once again in our Alienware Match of the Week.
I don't see G2 as a big challenge or a big opponent. Like I'm pretty sure we're just gonna win.
Sjokz is looking like a weird team because they're losing to a lot of the worst teams and winning against some of the better teams. I'm hoping that they will not beat us again, right? Because that would suck. But this time around, I think we're a bit more comfortable in the meta.
I've collected a lot of experience last year, how it is to be at rock bottom and how it feels to climb back up and be at the top. So I think I can use this for the next year to show that I'm one of the best.
Well, Schalke is shaping up to be G2's nemesis. They have won 4 out of the last 6 games versus G2, and they are in fact the only team to have a positive win record versus G2.
And for context with that, Fongfu Buffalo, arch nemesis of G2, hold a 3-1 head-to-head. So Schalke are getting pretty close to that.
They are. What is it about Schalke that they're able to take down out of any team G2 so consistently?
I actually don't know.
It's hard.
It's very surprising.
Is it this guy?
I think it might be the guy to our left. Gilius, I mean, when he has a really great performance, he can just go in. I think he's just popping off. He finds all the engages. He's not afraid. I mean, you see it in the interviews, you see it in the replays afterwards. Gilius just popping off, even if it's in-game or real life. The problem is only if it doesn't work, then it really doesn't work. So, but yeah, I mean, obviously, if this guy is strong in the game, Schalke is going off.
And I think this is a very important one. They were all important when Schalke took down G2, but it's important both for like kind of to test your mettle against the likes of G2 if you want to get to playoffs, because I don't think about Schalke anymore as in terms of do they need the miracle run. I see them as a team that should get to the playoffs.
Miracle run is a dirty word. I want to stop using it now because they are just a playoffs team. The question is, are they an actual title contender?
Yeah.
And that's what games like this one against G2 will help prove.
That they will. Well, before Schalke get their shot at G2, they need to go through SK in our opening game. Sheepy, as you are our guest, what is the game that you are looking most forward to today?
So the thing is about the schedule today, the first 2 are the most important ones for the standings because the very, teams that are fighting for the playoffs position are going to fight against each other. The last 3 is more like the top tier fighting against the bottom tier. So if any of those teams can actually surprise and want to make a comeback, right now is the start for it. But personally, I'm most excited for the first 2 games.
Mad Lions Excel is a banger.
An absolute banger. We'll see what happens.
And I think it's so important also for Excel this game because, Excel was the only team that has not reached the playoffs,
Yeah.
And I mean, if they pick up a win, especially against Mad Lions, who performed so well in summer, actually, it would be amazing.
It would be huge, but we start the day off with SK, and let's see what SK's coach had to say before taking on Schalke.
Thank you very much, Sjokz. And Jesiz, thank you so much for joining me. It's the first time we get to chat this year. So I want to talk about the team first. You decided to make the rookie bet this year with SK. What prompted you into making this decision?
I think a lot of it is just like down to what my strengths are as a coach. I pride myself on being a bit of an individual coach and just being able to like teach, especially rookies. Like I have a lot to give, like in terms of experience and just like my general knowledge. So I feel like I really excel with people who I can have a big impact on, like individually. And I just want like the highest probability of like being able to beat the absolute best teams. I don't really want like mediocre veterans or anything like that. So I think that's kind of the main reason why we went for the rookies with the most upside possible.
All right, giving a chance to fresh talent, I really love this approach. And I mean, SK's been doing decent and really well, actually, since the beginning of the split. And when you look at the standings in the LEC right now, outside of the top two, I want to say that we have a league pretty packed right now. But what do you make of SK compared to the other teams?
I mean, I think we haven't really shown our full form in our competitive games yet. And I think that's kind of natural because obviously we have a lot of rookies and we are a new team compared to a lot of other teams in the league. Like we don't have like that same core from last year as many other teams do. So I think it's only natural that we're like half struggling, half doing good. But I do think that we will start to pick up more wins now as we get more towards the latter half of the split. And especially throughout to summer split as well, you'll just get better and better. And I mean, in terms of team environment, everything's super good. We're all very happy and everyone's very much on the same page. Like everyone's trying super hard and every week we know what we want to work on. So yeah, I mean, in general, very, very happy with how the split is going so far. It's very much going to expectations.
That is amazing, and I'm really glad to hear that it matches the expectations you had. But I want to ask, and I'm sorry if it's too much, but you said that you were working on specific aspects. Can you give me a bit more about what you've been working on this week, maybe?
I think a lot of it's just like basics in terms of communication, because like I said, we're obviously a new team, and as we grow more and as other teams grow more, obviously new things come up and we kind of recognize flaws in the way we do things and the way we communicate specifically. So specifically this week we've worked a little bit on our communication and just like our gameplay mindset a little bit. But it obviously changes week by week.
For sure, and also depending on the opponents you have, and focusing on today, you will face off against Sjokz, a team who proved to be very aggressive and bloody in their approach. So they beat you the first time around, but I mean, you guys changed since then. So what gave you the upper hand today against Sjokz?
I think the Schalke game that we lost last time was one of those games where we were not really, especially not really showing what we were capable of in our actual official game. So I do think that if we just, show a good part of what I believe that we are, in terms of what skill we are, I think we have a very good chance, because I do think that we matched them very well on every role individually. And I think our team fighting is definitely as good as theirs. So yeah, it just depends on the day, right? Like it doesn't matter too much in the grand scheme, in my opinion. Like if we lose against them, like I still very much believe that we'll make it to playoffs, and I still very much believe that we'll achieve whatever we want to achieve this split. So.
Game after game, yeah. Well, I mean, that's a hopeful message at least, but I still wish you good luck against Schalke today. And Jesiz, thank you so much for the interview.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And back to you, Sjokz.
Thank you very much, Laure. Jesiz with a positive feeling about the clash versus Schalke. Of course, two German teams, so a bit of a German clash between two teams who are in fact neck and neck in the standings. So it's not because we are a bit higher on Schalke maybe that they're so far off in the standings, and there's going to be a very important game for SK.
Yeah, and from what we've seen from SK throughout this split so far, you would see maybe some inconsistencies, a lack of overall, team cohesion. But when we narrow it down to the games they've won, I want to pull up the drafts from those games specifically, because all of a sudden you see a distinct style. Let's start in the mid lane. Global abilities in the mid lane. This can, sort of patch up some of your macro weaknesses in the mid game. AP jungler with self-sufficient AD top side. That's going to be beautiful. But the most important thing by far is this bot lane, enabling Jesiz to have these high agency individual marksmen. 2 Vayne games, hasn't lost a game on Vayne yet. The Kalista Jarvan, everyone remembers that bot lane performance. If you unlock this bot lane, SK looks scary.
Yeah, and Trees is playing extremely well too. I mean, here we see the EQ flash on top of the Tristana, and I mean, the all-in potential. So agency is, I think, exactly the correct word. Either it's that he has to carry into mid into late game with the Vayne, or he has to be the playmaker for the early game. And I think the rest of the team in their wins is setting up for that. They're picking TF, they're picking strong combos like Renekton Nidalee just to have some pressure on the map, and then, yeah, later on, Jesiz popping off.
Jesiz also said in his interview, well, we rather went for some players that were a bit younger than washed up veterans or whatever.
Beautiful.
All right, we heard you there.
So he won't be subbing himself in.
Oh! Definitely not.
Wait, roasted. Oh my God. He's never going to do an interview with us again. No, on a more serious note though, is Treats the key here? The guy who of course has a lot of experience under his belt, even though, you know, you might not consider him as a veteran, but he does. Is he going to be the secret factor for this lineup?
I mean, my thing for SK is like they really just need more time because they don't have the veterans there. If you check out the team like Misfit, it's not like a plan for definite success, like as we've seen with them. But for sure, like over time, I would like them to be the rogue that, you know, just that we have right now, Inspired and Larsen, somebody that didn't have the biggest success and then slowly build up more. I would like to see the same for SK, and yeah, the bot lane is one of the keys.
All right, a build-up project for SK. I'm sorry, after that, like, dies from banger. That was so crazy. But this is where we start the deciding half of the LEC spring regular season as SK and Schalke fight for a monumental win in the race for playoffs.